let's talk about the Donald Trump arresting judges now. I wonder, are we in a constitutional crisis? Actually, now we're actually in a we're about to be in a constitutional crisis, and it's gonna happen exactly. Brian Tyler Cohen. Anyway, so first of all, Trump did not arrest a judge. The judge was arrested, I believe, by the FBI. Now, this is a very partisan FBI. Ironically, they are exactly what the Biden DOJ was described as, and they were not. It's just another example of projection. So they were making all these claims about the Biden DOJ, and now they're in office, and they are just leaning in full hardcore and being exactly what they were claiming that other people were. But anyway, looking at this from an objective, non-tribal lens, this is what I see. Claims are being made that this judge basically assisted an illegal immigrant in evading capture, right? The immigrant was in the court, and I guess ICE or some federal officials came to take custody, and I guess she intervened, and there's claiming that she led them through some private door or did some kind of shenanigans to allow them to escape being captured. So they're claiming she broke the law, and because she broke the law, they arrested her. That's what they're saying. The objective way to look at this is to look at the specific law that she supposedly violated, and then if she violated it, then the arrest is valid. I wouldn't say it ends there, but I would definitely tone down some of the rhetoric if we see that there's an actual law that was broken and they have a solid case. Obviously, they have to prove their case in court. But if it looks like they have something where she violated the law, I know that in this current climate where Trump is out of control, we have our government just being completely dismantled. The idea of a judge being arrested is definitely alarming, as it should be. However, be careful in not creating an illusion in your mind. The illusion in your mind that you would naturally come to is basically Trump is losing in court so many times, right? And they're using this aggressive rhetoric about these judges. He's been attacking judges, and now you see him arresting a judge, so your brain might naturally want to connect the two, but I would caution you from doing that. This is not Trump, arresting a judge who blocked him, like he lost in court, or for example, the judge that told him he's got to bring back Garcia, and he's like, you know what, you're violating the law, I'm going to arrest you. This is something completely different. They're making a claim that this judge violated the law. So the question is, did they in fact violate the law? What's the law they violated? What's the evidence? And we'll see what happens in court. Two things can be true. You can be and should be very, very concerned about pretty much anything this administration is doing, but in particular, having judges being arrested is definitely something concerning. But if the judge broke the law, though, I think maybe to help you think about this is, imagine if your preferred candidate was in office, Bernie, Biden, Kamala. Imagine that there's a court case where a false accusation was made against an asylum seeker. There's no evidence backing up the claim. It's a ridiculous case. There's no legal justification for this person to be deported based on a false story. Again, the claims were made, but then in court they didn't have any evidence. The story just was falling apart. But the judge, it's a red state, and the judge says, I'm gonna have you deported, like violating the person's rights. They have a legal asylum case. They haven't violated any law. Somebody made some false accusation. It's obviously a false accusation. They don't prove anything in court, and the judge clearly just circumvents the system and just says, I'm just gonna have you deported anyway. Now imagine that the Biden DOJ, the Kamala DOJ, the Bernie DOJ goes and has this judge arrested. The charge is violation of constitutional rights or whatever, there's some law or whatever. Imagine the right wing and the Republican Party going nuts about how Joe Biden is an authoritarian and he's arresting judges now. Again, if a judge violates the law, they should be charged, right? Whether it's a quote unquote left-wing judge or right-wing judge, no one is above the law, except unfortunately Donald Trump. But that wasn't my decision. You can thank the Supreme Court for that.